All right, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Palworld. Now, Palworld Studios Pocketpair, which, by the way, if you guys are unaware, Pocketpair has gone into publishing video games, right? They published Abu Bakar Salim's recent video game, Dead Take. They're trying to get their feet wet with publishing other people's video games. Apparently, they've come out and they've made a statement here that I find to be extremely interesting. You have an article here from PC Gamer that says the following. Palworld Studio Pocketpair says that its new publishing division won't handle games that use generative AI and says that we don't believe in it. Now, I know a lot of people have accused Palworld of potentially using AI. I haven't personally seen anything that shows that they use AI. If anybody has any proof of that that's definitive, I would love to see it. But as of right now, I haven't verified any of that. But it seems like they're heavily against AI, and we're going to talk about why in a second. This message comes to us from John Buckley, who is one of the bosses there over at Pocketpair Publishing, and he says we're already starting to see a flood of really low quality AI made video games on Steam and other storefronts. Now, obviously, that's not going to be a lie. Steam, the good and the bad thing about Steam is that Steam would be the place where they will allow pretty much anything to go on the platform as long as it was safe and not illegal. Obviously, things have changed ever since the whole payment processor debacle that happened with MasterCard and Visa enacting censorship on Steam and itch.io and all these other platforms. More so Steam than anything, because Steam is a private company and they wanted to make Steam bend the knee, and they did. But relatively speaking, compared to other platforms, Steam is still the platform where the majority of games can indeed go, as long as they don't, go against the TOS that has been made now recently. But when you have that level of openness, that also brings a level of slop with that, right? So naturally, there's going to be games that realistically are just complete shit, right? And they're mostly AI made, or if not all AI made, and you can see them from a mile away. They usually cost like $1.99 or something stupid like that. And they're gonna hope to try to get anybody to buy their game, whether it's a serious purchase or whether it's a troll purchase. They're hoping somebody will do it to try to make any dollars they possibly can from AI that didn't really cost them anything, right? Now, with all this being said, Palworld speaking out against this AI is actually very interesting to me, because a lot of companies in the gaming industry are trying to move towards AI. Microsoft fired thousands upon thousands of people and replaced them essentially with AI. Other studios have done the same exact thing and have replaced people with AI. So to see Palworld seemingly come out against it, come out against something that, honestly, in my opinion, you kind of can't avoid. I feel like AI is 100% going to take over the industry within the next 5 years or less. It's only a matter of time. So I would be very curious to see how Palworld, Publishing or whatever, Pocketpair Publishing, how are they going to fight against this? I'll be very curious. But let's hear it from his own mouth. So Palworld developer Pocketpair kicked off 2025 by launching a publishing division and was immediately swamped with interest. It received more than 150 pitches for publishing deals in the first week alone. Pocketpair Publishing boss John Buckley said at the time that the new division will respect the autonomy and vision of developers and work together to make great games for people all over the world. But it turns out that there is one kind of vision that the company isn't interested in, the kind that relies on generative AI. Now, if they really did get over 150 pitches, I got to imagine why they decided to take Dead Take from Abu Bakar Salim and Surgeon Studios. It must have been a really good pitch. Now, I had a decent time with Dead Take. I didn't think it was a bad game at all, but I got to imagine there was probably other games within that 150 pitches that could have been a good game too. Perhaps we haven't seen it yet. Maybe they're still working with those studios. Who really knows? People are going to say I'm lying, but these are just the hard facts. Buckley said in a new interview with Game Developer, "We don't believe in it. We're very upfront about it. If you're big on AI stuff, or your game is Web3 or uses NFTs, there are a lot of publishers out there who will talk to you, but we're not the right partner for that." Buckley isn't laboring under the assumption that Pocketpair can stem the onrushing tide of AI-powered games, and predicted that the next few years will see a big uptick of really low-quality AI-made games, something he says is already happening on Steam. Okay, so at least now we have an understanding, right? Because I said the same thing before I even read this, and now he's repeating the same exact thing. Within the next few years, AI is going to take over the gaming industry. There's no doubt about that. And there's going to be an immense amount of video games that are made strictly with AI that are going to flood the market. So I'm glad he said this, and I'm glad he's aware of this, and I'm glad he acknowledges that this is still going to be a thing, whether he wants to partake in it or not. It's something that has plagued other stores, but Steam has been good at keeping them out. but it's happening, Buckley said. This wave is coming, and I think we're going to enter this kind of authenticity market where people are going to slowly say, no, these guys are really trying to make something special to fight back. The sad thing is that there's going to be so much AI games that are going to be on the market that the moment somebody makes an authentic video game from scratch like they used to, what's going to be considered the old ways in a couple of years from now, those are the video games that are going to stand out. Those are the video games that are going to get the attention. Just like right now, indie games are getting attention because AAA has become essentially slop for the most part, and there's very few AAA games that really stand out to make people want to play them. I think this is going to be the new indie in a few years from now. Authentic video games made from people that actually have a passion for it and that try hard when making the video game and design everything themselves. Those are going to be the games that stand out, and the AI video games are going to become the new AAA slop, in my opinion, anyway. And the sad thing is, you're still going to have AAA slop on top of that anyway. That he thinks will result in consumers trying to suss out which games are machine generated and which are made by actual humans, a process that would inevitably lead to some false positives and mistaken accusations. I wonder if there's going to be, I don't know if there is, but I wonder if on Steam there is a toggle that the developer has to select if they made the game with AI. Right. I remember there is a toggle that they can select, or they have to select, if the game has some AI in it. Right. If it has some generative AI, I know there's a toggle for it, but I don't know if there's a toggle for it if the entire game is made with generative AI. I don't know if they use the same toggle or if they're going to create something completely different, but I feel like consumers need to be informed about this. I don't think it's right for a game to go on Steam made completely with AI and then be able to be sold as something that potentially was not made with AI. You know, I feel like there has to be some level of distinction there so people understand what they're buying if you want to make it pro-consumer and instead of anti-consumer. But again, that's my opinion on that. So it says that Pocketpair faced that unpleasant phenomenon back in 2024 when its breakout hit Palworld fell under the microscope. The studio repeatedly tried to convince people that it does not use generative AI in the game, but some just wouldn't believe it, and eventually Pocketpair had to let it drop. You know, I just can't come out and start fighting with these people who make the AI accusations because that just fuels what's going on, Buckley said. So, like I said earlier in the video, there was accusations against Palworld that haven't been definitively proven. Obviously, they haven't admitted to anything, nor do I think they would. But there hasn't been anything that's been proven that Palworld does use AI. If they do, and you have something, I would love to see it. Other than, oh, this weird creature has 7 fingers, and AI totally did that, and not some designer that wanted to make the creature with 7 fingers. Like I would need something more definitive than that. But overall, they have tried to deny it since the game came out. They've been getting accused of using AI. So that's why people finding ironic that they're the ones saying they're anti-AI now, and they're not going to work with anybody who uses AI. I just think it's a little bit odd, right? If they truly did use AI, that would be a wild thing to say and do. But to an extent, that resistance to explanations is understandable. Gamers have been wearing AI detective hats for years now, and accusations of generative AI usage quite often prove correct, even when companies forcefully deny it. I mean, look what happened to Call of Duty with the 6-figure zombie Santa. Remember that? Remember that? I mean, the balls that a company like Microsoft and Activision Blizzard to do with Call of Duty, a franchise that makes insane amount of money, to have a Santa zombie with 6 fingers and then not check it is crazy to me. How could you not check that and let that slide through for people to catch? That is just wild to me. That's just laziness, in my opinion. In early 2024, for instance, Wizards of the Coast absolutely insisted that a Magic the Gathering promotional image was made by humans until it eventually admitted that, whoops, it wasn't, even though the company had committed to not using AI-generated art several months earlier. But that's because it's Wizards of the Coast, right? They're fucking liars to begin with. But by June 2024, it was back on the sauce with a listing for a principal AI engineer job who would be responsible for systems for intelligent generation of text dialogue, audio, art assets, NPC behaviors, and real-time bot frameworks, even though it insisted that our stance on AI hasn't changed. Okay, so they basically lied their asses off. Why is anybody not, like, you shouldn't be shocked by this whatsoever. So what does this mean ultimately? So I think at this point, AI is coming for the industry. I think we can all agree with that. I think we can all admit that. Whether or not it's done properly or not is a whole nother story. You're going to have a lot of people try to utilize AI for bad. You're going to have a lot of people try to utilize AI to save time, save money, right? And you're going to have people utilize AI for the right reasons. whatever the reason you're utilizing AI, I think the consumer should know. I think the consumer absolutely should 100% know that what they're buying has been made with AI or has AI in it. As long as consumers know that and they want to buy it anyway, then let them buy it. That's fine. Then they're making an informed decision. But if you try to hide that from people, I think that's going to set a bad precedent. And I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they try to set that precedent. So you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this entire situation with Palworld saying they're against AI and that they're not going to work with anyone who uses generative AI? Do you think they're telling the truth, or do you think this is one massive virtue signal to seem like the one company that is going against AI when everybody else is embracing it? Whatever it may be, leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.